What's happening? This is the Spice King Keith Lorren, spiciest man in the world, Duke of Delicious Kaiser of Curry, and the man who invented cooking. And I'm so excited to share with you another restaurant quality seafood meal that your family is going to love. I have an oven smoked salmon with a horseradish cream sauce, sauteed garden vegetables, and a sweet potato Duchess potato. It's so wonderful, flaky, and satisfying. This is how we're going to do that. You're going to start off with about 6 sweet potatoes, 2 large russet potatoes, and enough water to cover it. We're going to add salt, a little bit of the Keith Lorren dessert spice full of cardamom and ginger and cloves and cinnamon and all of that good stuff. And we're going to toss it up and let it scent the potatoes. We're going to cook this until it's tender. And once it is, you're going to love it. It's going to smell up your whole house. You got to get that spice at keithlorren.com. Once it's tender, you're going to mash the potatoes with 1 stick of butter while it's hot so that the butter can melt, and you're going to mash it until it's smooth. And now we can start adding the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to add a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. These potatoes are meant to be savory, not overly sweet. So you're going to go to the keithlorren.com or Stop and Shop or Big Y or Walmart or Jewel Osco and pick it up. And we're also going to add a spoonful of a seasoning paste. Now, our seasoning paste in the Caribbean and Africa is simple. It can be garlic, shallots, oil, and scallions. It's simple. And lemon juice. Next, we're going to add a little bit of the Keith Lorren seasoned sea salt, which is going to tie all of those flavors together. And we're going to balance these potatoes with just a little bit of sugar. We're not going to add a lot. Maybe a few spoonfuls. Maybe, 3, 4, 5 spoonfuls, but nothing too heavy. And again, we're just enhancing it. So this is a perfect dish if you want it to be a side dish or, enhance your meal without something that's being overly sweet. So this is a great addition for Thanksgiving and all. Next, I just add a little bit more of our Keith Lorren dessert spice to kick up that flavor and a pinch more sugar. Next, to stabilize everything, we're going to put 5 egg yolks and we're going to whip it up until it's really smooth. The combination of the white potato and the egg yolk is really going to give you a souffle-like texture from your potato. Next, we're going to pop it into the oven. We're going to preheat our oven to 450 degrees. We're going to oil our pan with butter and olive oil. And next, we're going to add all of the potatoes into a piping bag. Now, somebody took my piping bag. I don't know. That's why you can't lend stuff out, because people don't never know how to return stuff. So I just put it in a Ziploc bag with a star tip. And this is how it looks. It's really simple. I secured the star tip with a rubber band around the tip so that it doesn't come off. And it's good. You're gonna be able to make about 15, 20 servings out of that. So it's a great thing to have for the holidays. You can serve a lot of people, and you're gonna have your temperature high so that you can get this golden crust on the outside. That caramelization really tastes wonderful. Next, let's do our garden vegetables. Now in this mix, I have zucchini, I have squash, and I have asparagus. I tossed it with a little bit of olive oil, the Keith Lorren seasoned sea salt, and black pepper. You can get these at Walmart, Stop and Shop, Jewel Osco, and Big Y. And I'm adding it into a skillet that's been oiled, a very high temperature, and we're going to toss it until it gets that caramelized color. We're not overcooking it, that's why we're using a high heat. And to finish it off, we're adding tomatoes and green scallions, and it's done. We don't want to overcook the tomatoes, just a quick saute, and we're going to add it into a dish and put it off to the side. Look at those vegetables, y'all. You can serve that with anything. It's really satisfying. Now to make our horseradish cream sauce, this is what we're going to do. Olive oil, garlic, and shallot. We're going to add a splash of sherry cooking wine. We're going to add a squeeze of a half of a lemon, and we're going to add some seasonings. So we're going to add a little bit of horseradish. We're going to add some heavy whipping cream, and this is going to be the base of our sauce. We're going to stir it up and let it reduce slightly so the flavors can meld. To enhance everything else, we're going to get the Keith Lorren Keith Lorren seafood seasoning, which has tarragon and dill and lots of great aromatics in there, and it'll be perfect. The flavor of this is phenomenal. To enhance the salt component, we're going to add just a little bit of the seasoned sea salt from Keith Lorren, and it's done. That flavor is exquisite. Now with everything, everything has to have balance. So we're going to add a stabilization with a little bit of cornstarch and water. This is called a slurry. So I'm adding a little bit of cornstarch and water in here. I'm also going to add a little bit of clam juice. The clam juice is going to add some depth to it and make the sauce extra rich and give it that clam chowder-like aroma. And just another splash of water to thin it out. And when it becomes a medium nappe, meaning that it drips off the spoon and coats it back in the spoon, the sauce is done. We're going to enhance it with butter. Turn the heat off. We're gonna add 1 stick of whole butter in here and away from the heat, and we're gonna let that melt on its own. And finally, to adjust the flavor, we're gonna add a pinch of sugar. All the great cooks know, don't let nobody fool you. For balance, you have to have salt and sugar and sour, and umami. Those are the perfect mixes. Black pepper and dill to finish it, and the sauce is done, y'all. Really wonderful on any great seafood. Now, let's do our oven-baked barbecue salmon. Head to the grocery store, Stop and Shop, Big Y, Jewel Osco, and now Walmart to get the Spice King Keith Lorren's products. I'm going to take our wild-caught salmon and add a little bit of our seasoning paste that we always keep in the freezer. We just blend up some scallions and shallots and oil and vinegar, a little lemon juice, and that's our seasoning paste, some fresh parsley, And we're going to use the seasoned sea salt, olive oil, and the country barbecue rub. Now, this is the only barbecue in a rub that you can use, and it'll make the food taste like you smoked it for hours. The smoke complex on here is delicious. It's hickory, it's coal, it's mesquite, and it's oak. It's fabulous, y'all. Y'all gotta go and get it. And now we're gonna rub it down. Now, you don't need a lot, just a little bit. It's very potent. It's not that cheap stuff. I make the best quality, okay? I mean it. Now, I want you to rub the salmon down on both sides and season the opposite side the same way with the same ingredients. Now, I want you to place the salmon on a rack, meat side up. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper and olive oil, and then pop it in the oven at 450 degrees. This is what it looks like when it's done. Perfectly cooked, perfectly flaky, and it's so amazing. These flavors are phenomenal. Our Duchess potatoes are done, our gravy's done, our vegetables are done. This is a meal fit for a champion. Any person you make this for is gonna rave over it. The flavors are exquisite. This is yet again another restaurant quality meal. I want to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Head to the grocery store, Stop and Shop, Big Y, Jewel Osco, and KeithLorren.com and pick yourself up some of the best spices in the world. Like this video, make sure to check out my other videos on YouTube. Check out my website, KeithLorren.com, and check out my spices, which are coming to Walmart stores this August, Big Y grocery stores, Stop and Shop, and also Jewel Osco, all in the month of August. Thanks for watching.